intellectually switched on enough to go, how do I really use every single aspect of an Android, even though it is probably better?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And even like there's one feature that if they got it right, I'd be fine with an Android phone. But the fact that when you're posting to Instagram, it just gets fucked up, like from Android phone users, that will keep me away.
Quality's rough.
It's, I don't know, it's basic, but that alone
basic,
will
but
keep me.
essential for life at the moment. You got to be able to post to Instagram. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah.
On today's podcast, we have special guest Mitch Creek, who has played 10 seasons in the NBL, played in Germany, as well as playing with the Brooklyn Nets and Minnesota Timberwolves. He's an adrenaline junkie who loves to cook. Welcome to the show, Mitch.
Welcome.
Boys, pleasure. Thank you.
How you going today down in Melbourne?
I'm not too bad. I'm sitting in front of the window trying to get a little bit of vitamin D through the glass. It's a very rare sight down here in shady Melbourne with 4 seasons in one day is a very common occurrence. So we're still in lockdown, but we're alive and well, mate.
Oh, we love to hear it. I wanted to talk about, because you spent some time in the NBA, but it probably happened after you were first anticipating when you went to the draft in 2014. That's like an experience that no one really hears about. I'd love to know about that.
Yeah, look, I had the opportunity after a couple of years. Obviously, you play a couple of years professionally, and every year you play professionally, you lose a year of eligibility in college. So after my 4 years, started in 2010, 2014 came around. That was when I was first eligible to kind of declare for a draft. Now, that was a path that I didn't really look at a whole bunch. I was still not a very good player in the NBL. I struggled my first few years. But then when I kind of built my way through the system and then got to the NBA via an alternative route, which of, summer leagues in the off season in Vegas, I did, 3 separate teams before I even got a look in for an off season spot with, say, the Long Island Nets, the affiliate team to the Brooklyn Nets. Spent training camp there, got an offer to do that after going to Germany and re-signed in Wurzburg, but then cancelled that deal, tore it up and said, all right, let's just give it a crack in the NBA. And in all honesty, mate, I moved to New York with a week's notice, packed up shop. I had everything kind of going pretty well at the time. Like I just come off an MVP season, played in Germany, did really well there, got a good deal offered to me. And it was kind of like, well, this is where my career really takes a big incline and really takes off. So I went there and then finished training camp, got all the way through that, didn't get picked up with the roster, went to Long Island, did 4 or 5 months there, was told it was going to go and this, that, and the other was all in place. And it just never actually happened and came to fruition. And I was so close to actually leaving because the European window was closing again. I could have played for a really good European team and made some great money, had a good opportunity. And if I wasn't going to get any 10 days or sign in the NBA, was it really worth it? Spending all this time away, sacrificing family, friends, loved ones, financially sacrificing a lot. A G League contract is no secret. You can go and Google it.
Yeah, but they're pretty legit.
It's a G League contract's about $33,000 US for the season. A 10-day contract, if you get one, is around $60,000 US. Now, I was fortunate enough to get a couple of those, but when you're just there physically on $33,000 to live and survive as a 25-year-old, 26-year-old, it's not a lot of money. Now, equivalent that to Europe, guys go and make $30,000, $40,000 tax-free a month. It's a big difference, and a lot of life can be changed, not just yours, but families. So I actually stuck around and made the choice, and the next day they actually called me and said, we've signed you to a 10-day with the Brooklyn Nets. And the next night we were meant to go on a West Coast swing for like 13 days, and instead I suited up against the New York Knicks at our home court in Brooklyn, and then re-signed a second 10-day, finished a bit of the G League season, then signed with Minnesota, as you said, and then signed a remaining year contract with them. So, it went from really, really exciting times to getting there, to preparing, to really anticlimactical. Like, I'm doing everything, you're saying all the right things, but why aren't the results happening? And that really bothered me for quite a while. And it was starting to wear on my game a little bit. And then all of a sudden it all fell into place, and, the weight of the world goes off your shoulders, and all the hard work, everything you put in, everyone that's been there, it makes it all worth it. And it was certainly a feeling that I hope other people can feel and earn in their lifetime, and have the luck and the timing and the preparation all align at the same time to really make dreams come true. And it did for me, but that's kind of just where it started.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. But like the ups and downs that must have been, because most of what you said from that being in the Long Island Nets, the G League team, to the first 10-day contract, the second 10-day contract, the third of the Timberwolves, and then being signed. Like what was that window? Like there's a lot of ups and downs there.
Yeah, and look, honestly, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes as well. You know, it's not just like you go to training, you go home, and great life, you get to hang around with NBA guys and travel and all that kind of stuff. People don't see what really goes into it. Like I was in New York, it was probably -3 or 4 degrees, snowing. I was traveling from Long Island, commuting by like a private car Brooklyn would get me all the way to Brooklyn, which was 1 hour to 2 hours, you know, a drive depending on traffic in the morning. I'd go and work out with their injury guys. So at the time there was like Kenneth Faried, Spencer Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell, Karis LeVert, great players. You know, Jared Dudley, a bunch of other guys. You go and work out with them, then you'd go back in a car straight away, you'd eat quickly, go back out to Long Island, then you might train with a Long Island team, then you might get on a flight that night, take a commercial airline or a bus 4 or 5 hours to a different state, get on a flight, go and play the next day, come back, and then do it again. Or while you're away, you'd be flown to somewhere else, you'd be training with their team. And, you know, there was just so many little things that went on. And I really struggled. Like I missed home really bad. I was kind of in a bit of a headspace where I was a leader on that team, but there was really only like I came in as a kind of young Aussie, and like there's all American guys. So they were all looking at me like, who's this crazy idiot? But it took time for that to kind of, you know, really form trust in each other. And we had a very successful year, but in saying that, there's a lot of ups and downs that go on. And, you know, the 5 months before you get your first 10-day, you're speaking about going overseas and kind of pulling the pin because there was only like about a month, 4 or 5 weeks left of actual 10 days available in the season. And then there was probably another month of actual regular season. So that happened. I got my first 10-day, 2 days to go on my first 10-day. I got my second 10-day, 4 days into that 10-day period. I was in San Antonio. I played against the Spurs. I finished that game. We got back to the hotel. I stayed that night. About 2 a.m. I got to bed. The next morning I trained with Long Island. We also played in Austin, Texas. I played the next day and I was in the locker room before that game. I was knackered. I was in the locker room before that game and they came into me and he goes, oh, hey, just come here real quick. And the assistant GM came over and goes, hey, mate, look, you know, we've got to cut you from the Nets. You know, we've done a sign and trade deal and that's going to be the end of your period. We're really sorry, but you're kind of the collateral and you have the smallest deal there. So we need that roster spot to sign someone, trade them, open up cap space. But then we can't offer you another 10-day because once you've had 2, they have to sign you to a full contract. So I couldn't get re-signed there. So that kind of sucked. That was a bummer. I played that game and then I stayed with Long Island. And then about 2 weeks later, we started finals. We were the regular season champs, you know, conference champs on top of the ladder of everyone.
This is with Long
and
Island.
Then this is with Long Island. And then I get a call from Minnesota. We just finished the regular season. We went out for beers that night. We had 3 or 4 days off. We were all hungover on a Saturday and they called me and they said, look, it's, you know, Minnesota want to offer you a 10-day and then sign you to the remainder of the season. But you have to leave in like 2 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, shit, man. Like, I'm hungover. Like, give me an hour. Like, I need to have a shower and think. And I was like, what do you think? And my agent, you know, Marquise and Jai from Mogul Sports, they're unbelievable. And they were like, look, this is an opportunity to be in front of a second franchise. But then we got on the horn to Brooklyn and said, hey, look, this is on the table. We want to be loyal. We want to play finals, whatever else. But, you know, it means we can't if we go and play with another team. And they actually said, well, we can't speak to the head coach, but we would all sign you to the rest of the season. So those conversations went on behind closed doors. And I'm sitting in bed hungover going,
oh, shit.
Oh, what am I doing? Like, I shouldn't have had those bloody tequila shots. Yeah. But I'm sitting there not knowing if I was staying or going. And they go, look, we need to know like ASAP. Otherwise, we're going to have to take this deal. But then everyone, all the assistants, the managers, everyone, like GMs, they were all on my side saying, yeah, I'm 90% sure coach will want you for the rest of the season. And Brooklyn had made finals that year with a really kind of, I guess, less talented roster per se, as people were saying.
Especially
but they
now.
go, we don't. Yeah, but they
shit.
don't. They don't speak to the coach on game day until they get to the game, so we can't call him. It's a rule. So they're like, you have to wait until tomorrow. If I waited, I mightn't have got signed, and then I don't have a deal, and then I'm just playing G League. Or I wait that night, I get signed, great. Or I take the deal, you live with what it is, and that's it. Now, look, I took the deal. I said it's a second set of eyes, a great opportunity, a great franchise, building, developing, great guys in that roster. So that was kind of the real behind the scenes, like ending of like my Brooklyn, Long Island stint, etc. That's kind of like where it got to and how it got there. But yeah, man, a lot of stress, a lot of like sleepless nights, uncertainty, self-doubt, all these things creep in along the way. But it really is something that is special in so many ways because it is so hard to crack. And to get that opportunity, to get some play time, to do well is very, very special indeed.
How do you like when all these people, like those conversations behind those closed doors are happening? Prior to the night out, but you've still got to perform. Like for a lot of this time, you've got to perform while the Brooklyn negotiations are going on. How are you clearing your head?
I think one of the biggest things is just understanding who you are as a person, the values you cherish and hold kind of closest to you. Those are the biggest focal points for me. Like I get up in the morning and I make sure, what am I doing today? What have I got planned? That's my job. Best prepare myself physically, mentally, and recover the best as well. Put some good fuel and food and water and sleep in. You mix all that in, you do things that you enjoy as well. And the basketball will take care of itself. I prepare myself, I train, I do all the things I need to do to be great there. But the thing is how do you block that out? People always wonder. I have a management team. So my agents with Mogul Sport, I said before, Marquise and Jay, that's their job. Their job is to deload me with anything that is not necessary to my performance on that night or that day. That is their job. That's why they get paid. That's why they get paid well. That's why they are the best of what they do, I believe, because they wouldn't call me unless they go, you have 2 hours to make this decision. There you go. Now, I might turn around sometimes and go, mate, why the hell am I only finding out right now? And he goes, mate, we've been talking for 5 days or 5 weeks or 5 months. Do you want to know every conversation? No. Tell me when it's important. I just told you. And you're like, makes sense. Cool. Gotcha. That's easy. That's really easy. You just cleared that up for me. And that's what you need. So I had that conversation years ago when I signed with them. And honestly, that makes life so much easier for me. I focus on my job. You focus on your job. And then when they collide, okay, cool. What do we need to do? We need to navigate this situation by making this, and this decision. And if you have this, or this, these are the outcomes that could happen. Or the processes we need to now put in place because we have to get on a flight in a couple of hours. So that's where it becomes easy for me to shut it out because I focus on what I need to control and they do their job. Now, if I had to do both, big difference. But at the same time, you do have to balance it as best you can because I want to try and make my life easier so I can perform at a higher level.
Yeah, I often wonder because you can sort of only really be good at one thing. Like once you start adding things to your plate, I don't know. I feel like
something
a lot of
gives. If you try to be a master of too many things, you try to focus on handling all your contracts and negotiations and be the best basketball player. That's got to be so difficult. Is it anyone do that?
Well, I don't know, but like LeBron, I just think of him and I'm sure he's got like a great team behind him, but like the amount of business things he's doing on the side, like even though it's being handled, I wonder like how much that pulls at his mental energy and like, does that take from his focus?
I think that helps him though. Honestly, because he has so many pressures and so many people pulling at him as a professional athlete that you need that distraction. If you just work a 60-hour week every week, that's great. But how long until that gets so repetitive that you start to go, you know what? I don't know if that's what I love to do anymore. Now, in saying that, people go, well, they make millions and millions of dollars. Well, they earned it because their revenue.
It's such a bad argument.
They literally go like, oh, well, you get paid $40 million a year.
Deal with it.
You should do this.
Yeah.
Well, you should shut the fuck up because you have no idea how hard it is to walk outside and to be scrutinized for everything you do. You wear black, and black, and you got black socks on. Oh, you're a racist. You're like, what? Someone somewhere will say that. And then all of a sudden it's in the media. LeBron's a racist. Mitch is a racist. And you're like, oh my God, like, come on, mate. But then all of a sudden you get a call from your agent, mate, Nike's not happy about this. Puma's not, like, we got to do this. And you're like, I didn't do anything. Like, this is crazy. So when that stuff kind of happens, there's shit going on. You look at Ben Simmons, went to the tennis. He needed a mental detox and break from basketball. He went to the tennis. The man's still working out twice, 3 times a day, but he went to the tennis and he got reamed by the media. And you're like, are you absolutely seriously? Like, he's just saying, I'm not happy here. You guys disrespected the shit out of me. Let me live my life. Let me do my own thing. And if I'm not wanted here, fine, I'll go. But now they're like, we don't want you, but we want you, but go away, but stay here or we're not going to pay you. I'd be pissed off too. But at the same time, people go, oh, well, he makes so much money, he should be less selfish. Well, he generates 5 times that amount for that club. And they pay him 1/5 of that. So the club makes 70% more than he does. And then people complain and blame him. So that's how it all works. And that's why it's hard as an athlete. Like, why are so many professional athletes going through mental health battles now? They've gone through them for decades, but now they're just allowed to talk about it a little bit more. And there's support systems and networks there. So I do feel for anyone that's, going through it, has to be in the spotlight, gets paid well, is expected to do certain things. But without having people there, it's really hard. But having a distraction, business, relationships, adventures, things you enjoy or things you're passionate about, that's important. And if you don't have it, you become so fixated on just one thing that becomes an obsessive trait. And as everyone probably knows, if you're obsessive over something or you're so fixated on one thing, you actually start to miss out on all the opportunities that the world has to give us. And when you're happier, you have better results. And I think that's where his schools, his businesses, all these endeavors that he goes on helps him remain to be a top 3 player in the league at 58 years old or whatever LeBron is.
I think he could be 59.
He'll be doing the same stuff when he's 50. I'm telling you, he's never going to get old. He's still going to be dunking at 85. Like, it's going to be impressive to see.
I wonder how much of it's like genetic or it's actually like when's the next person going to come along that can perform at LeBron's level because I think he's 38. Is he, or 36? I don't know. Something like that.
36,
but like,
something like that, yeah.
The fact that he's just running down the lane and dunking, like at old.
It's like he's done everything right nutritionally and keeping his body
is
in
it
check.
Is it genetic or is it like actually possible for someone else to come across and replicate it? But yeah, distractions definitely help.
What do you use to de-stress what's your getting away from basketball? Like,
I've got like a couple of cars, some motorbikes. I was at a certain date, not too however long ago. I'm not going to say the dates because, but I went out to Winton Raceway. I did a full track day, took my R1 out and did a full test and tune day with some professional riders. There's about 30 people there for the day and, take the bike out. I went out by myself with some friends of friends I've never met before and, did a full ride and race day. Like, you put all your leathers on, you've got your helmet on, your headphones in, and you're just singularly focused on that. You're not really worrying about too much else because I'm doing, I'm coming out of the last corner at Winton in 3rd gear, rolling throttle. I'm holding it pinned through 4th and 5th. I'm front brake as hard as I can. You got instability in the back wheel, tapping the back brake, down into 3rd, into a left, to a right, thinking about all these things. Look down and you're doing 240 kilometers an hour down that straight. You're like, I need to focus on this right here because otherwise I'm going straight over the bloody wall and Mitch will be in the ground. But, in all seriousness, it's about having hobbies and passions that you truly do find happiness and peace in. Like, I skydive when I can. I ride motorbikes as much as possible. I've got a couple of those. I've just helped, restoring and building a 69 Pontiac Firebird. I've got a few things that I enjoy mechanically because I love those kind of things. I love engines. I love going fast. I love building stuff. Seeing friends, training. A couple of my friends are professional boxers, so do a bit of training with them. I go to the gym, go to the beach, hang out with mates. I don't really hang out with people in the sporting world outside of basketball.
Is that intentional? Or is that
Yeah,
just
it
like
is.
you just
It
vibe
is,
different?
yeah. I get along with everyone really, really well. Age, gender, sizes, what they do, everything. I can get along with the bloody brick outside in the garden. But I try and make sure that I separate my professional life, even though I'm very good friends with some of the guys and we all get along really, really well. Can go out for dinner, have them here for drinks and a feed, and we all hang out, whatever. I can do all that. But then at the same time, I know there's going to be a certain point where if I'm super, super close to all my guys on my team, whatever else, and they get cut, they move on, they go somewhere else, you go, man, my best mate just left me. Like, that sucks. That's hard. And then it's like, do I do another relationship? Do I build another friendship like that? The next season, he got cut. He's out now. And I've played with a lot of people, and I've been very close to a lot of people that I've played with, and it's tough to see people goodbye. So all my mates do different things. Like, you pick a job, they do that. And that's great because I don't talk about sport outside of, training and whatever else, or they come to games and we get in the car. It's not, man, like, third quarter, why they do this? It's just like, bro, like, you want to go ride tomorrow? And it's like, fuck yeah, I want to go ride tomorrow. Thank you. I need to go ride tomorrow. Like, they just know me and we have similar interests and hobbies. And that's what's brilliant about separating the two, because then I'm not overly stressed or fixated on one thing. I'm just, conscious about, what I'm doing in my personal life.
At what point did you, because I guess like for us, like it's work life and then like social life. And when you're probably 10 years old playing basketball, that's like your social life. But at what point does it transition to work life and then you go, actually, I want to start treating the people that like were in your social life at 10 years old in the basketball team as like work friends and start to create that distance?
It's really hard. And some people don't even do it now. I just do it because, being a leader and being someone who's now captain aside and they've built a team around and a franchise around, it's hard because you do get a bit of a say in kind of how things kind of track sometimes and how the club's built some of the the pillars we try and build our foundation on. I have a direct, input in that, and they'll come to me and speak to me about that and, who we're signing and what we're doing and the path that we're taking, because a lot of the offense or defense will go through me. A lot of the trainings will go through me, the teaching points, those are things. And that's what you need, is a strong character that you build around. But it's what age do you do it? It's hard. You need to be conscious about it, because a relationship right now can affect what happens, in a year's time or 2 years' time. What happens when you and your best mate are going for one spot and you need to be a little dirty, or you need to do something that he may not like? Does that tug on your friendship too much? Now, I'm not saying don't have a best friend in a team. I'm just saying you have to be able to separate the two and say, what are my goals? Are my goals really to be the best? Because if it is, fuck you. I need this because this is my dream. And at the end of the day, if you don't do that, I had someone I grew up with who was more talented, fitter, stronger, could run longer, faster, everything than I could. My best friend, and we went different routes. Now, not saying my life's any more happy or joyful or less stressed than his is. It could be very much the opposite, because I've had a pretty hard go, but I've got through it and I enjoyed my time and my experiences and different things. But who could have had more? Who could have got to a higher level? And I honestly think he could have. I really do. I think he could have been far greater than I am right now. And I don't have a hesitation in my voice in saying that. So,
have you had that conversation with him? Is he still playing basketball?
No, he stopped playing basketball when he was about probably 16 or 17, and I made the choice to go and play in the Institute of Sport in Canberra, and he went and did footy instead, and then kind of like fizzled out and had some stuff in his life that went on, and it changes you and it kind of gives you a different appreciation. So I've never had that conversation directly with him. We both know it without having to talk about it. I haven't seen him for a long time either. Like, he lives in a completely different area than I do, and work life, and we try and talk a little bit, but it's very hard. So, I still know he's one of my oldest and bestest friends, but we just don't, we could speak right now and it could have been 2 years since we had a FaceTime, but I could talk to him and it was like I saw him this morning. So, you need to make sure you continue to reach out to people, especially in a time like this. But yeah, that's always going to be there.
Yeah. I've also done a bit of running and I recently did a run and I tried to get a mate along. And similar situation, this guy is like, he's so much better physically than I am in like virtually every attribute, but he's just too smart. And I ended up doing this run, and he was smart enough to say no because it was a tough run in hot temperatures, but he was just like too smart for his own good in that instance. And I know he would have done better than me, but sometimes it's just persistence, like just sticking around and just showing up is incredibly important.
You don't have to be the best in every situation. Sometimes participation is all that's needed to have growth.
Yeah.
And people forget that. People really forget that. It's not about having the best result. It's just about participation. Because you can watch someone else who is less talented than you, less physically gifted, or whatever it is. And you can watch them and go, well, what made them the greatest today? Was it certain aspects, or was it a mental fortitude that they found within themselves? Then have a conversation. Man, you were on fire today. What was that? Man, it was this, and this. I've been trying this, and I've been doing this. You're like, sweet, I'm writing all this shit down because I didn't know that. And you never know where you can get those little inches from, because every inch counts at this level.
100%. Who have you been grabbing from?
Coaches, players, teammates, watching people, watching different sports and different disciplines, researching and learning, making mistakes, like a plethora of different avenues I've explored and I continue to explore, because I'm not where I want to be, but I respect and appreciate those that are able to do what I'm not able to do. And, I respect that. So I just try and learn from that as much as possible in every situation and every undertaking that I do every single day. I'm consciously aware of what I can learn in a given situation. And when I start to shut that off, I know it's probably going to be time to hang the boots up.
Yeah. I completely agree. Going back to basketball, like when you're running out of eligibility for the NBA draft in 2014, did you just, and we were speaking about it before because I don't really know how it works, but is it you apply out of like default, like what the hell, because you were saying you weren't playing as well at the time, but is it just like, I'll throw my hat in here, see, is that the right analogy? But fine. Just try my chances here.
Yeah, look, for most people it is.
Because no one talks about draft day when you don't.
Yeah, look, there's anticipation. I knew I wasn't going to get picked up, so it didn't really bother me. Like it wasn't a goal of mine to play in the NBA. I never thought I was going to be good enough. I honestly didn't at that time, especially.
How is it never a goal? Like I don't even play pickup. I play like pickup basketball twice a year. And
there's a difference between having dreams that are within reach and having dreams that are so far out of reach you don't even know they should be there. And when Joey Wright first came to Adelaide, that was my start of my fourth season, and that was when my eligibility had kind of finished. So I'd played that season, and I'd learned so much from Joey, and he was like, he had a conversation with me. He goes, "You don't know how good you could be, mate." And he saw that far before I could. I was a kid from Horsham that was making bugger all money playing basketball and was just happy doing it because I was like, this is pretty sick. Get to fucking have fun with the boys, get to play basketball, get paid a little bit of money. Didn't think it was going to be a career. And then I look and I'm like, well, honestly, one of my goals is to make $100,000 playing sport. I was like, that was pretty sick, because we came from a really small community where we weren't really well off as a family at all. So that was a lot of fucking money. And for me at the time, I was like, I don't know what I want to get out of this, but this sounds like a pretty good idea. Like I'd make a bit of money, get to have a bit of fun. At the end of the day, you turn around and you go, holy shit, maybe I could be. And then another year happens, you get better and better and better. And then you're coming off the bench. Then you're a six man. Then you're in talks for like 6 man of the year. Then all of a sudden they've asked you to captain the team. And then you become an MVP. Then you're a second. And then all of a sudden you're a fans MVP of the league. And you're like, holy shit, he was right. NBA Summer League. My path wasn't back there, but it is still now a chance. And that's where you just transition from one opportunity to another. But all that is in between those two opportunities is hard work. And people think that running a podcast is going to be easy. Let's talk about some cool shit, get some cool guests, going to grow really quick. Then you look around, you had 100 listens and you're like, fuck, that was a good episode. And you got 100 people. And then all of a sudden someone else has done one and they've got 100,000 and they talked about absolute bullshit. And you're like, what the hell? We're giving great content. We're growing, very slowly. We're not getting the listens, but every week. One of my friends, Danny Kennedy, you might know him, DK Fitness. He does podcasting as well. He's been doing an episode every single week for like 7 or 8 years. Hasn't missed an episode.
Well,
and people go, why do you have millions and millions of listens and stuff like this? Well, because I was consistent with my work every single day. And Danny now does my program. He does all my strength and conditioning programming. Everything at the moment is through him because we grew up together. He was a year younger than me. He had a work ethic that I appreciated, respect him as a person. And we turned around and now we work together and help each other. So it's, it's really special to have someone like that in your life that's gone through the same kind of warfare and has been in the trenches with you.
Yeah. Just like showing up over a long term is like surprisingly successful.
Yeah,
like it sucks because you don't want to have to think about like you could do it in 8 years and you could be in the same spot. That's like a possibility, but like time and time again, it proves that it works.
Consistency is like, it's consistently successful. Like it's one of those things where you just keep at something over and over. You'll get better at it. You'll always get better and you'll always grow. It's how much that varies.
That's an underrated answer right there.
Facts.
And people honestly overlook it and go, oh, well, if I do it and I work so hard, I'm like, oh, I'm training 5 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's 35 hours, 10 weeks, 350 hours. I do that. Like, oh yeah, great. Good on you. But 350 hours work in 3 weeks, it seems like a lot. That's a shitload of work, whatever. You do that over 3 years now. You couldn't do that. There's no way to sustain that kind of body of work. You would burn out, you get tired, you'd lose interest. But small, consistent efforts over a long period of time, consciously focusing on a goal or a development or an increase in whatever it is, you're just going to start to get better and better and better. And all of a sudden, the competition doesn't, they might go like this and you might just be trickling along slowly and they're up here, but then they stop and they decline and then something happens and you just start to slowly, it's the tortoise and the hare. It really is with development. And, some people develop really quickly. I was a bit of a late bloomer, but I figured it out and I was, I guess, fortunate enough to now be able to help others figure it out too. And the sooner they twig onto that, the better. I wish I'd believed in myself earlier because I could have been so much better. I just didn't have that trust in myself. I didn't believe in myself enough. And that might seem crazy to people who meet me now, but who I was when I was 18 is very different to who I was when I was 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, now 29. Very different person. And the belief along the way went like this and probably started within like that. And then it started to go up and it was like, hang on, I can really do this. And when that grew, so did my results.
What grew it though? What grew that belief in self?
Someone else believing in me.
Was it that coach saying you could really be there?
Yeah. Someone else believing in me. I used to read comments, posts, forums, everything. I was my harshest critic. I'd go home and someone would be like, check on, Hoops SA forum and someone would be like, this dude sucks. He fucking shit ass. He can't do this. He can't do that. And I'd go to training the next day and I wouldn't shoot the ball because I was so scared of missing it. And then all of a sudden I was like, what am I doing, man? I took 4 or 5 months off of basketball where I trained to get better and to get to a goal. And I actually went and trained footy and was playing, training with a couple of AFL teams for a little bit. And I had to really reset my focus of what I wanted to do. And that was after that 4th year. The draft stuff could have been, but I was never good enough and it was never a dream. So when people talked about it, I was like, well, how did he go from an MVP to World Championships at 17, 18 years old? 4 years later, meant to be in the NBA and he wasn't. I just was like, I thought it was a lucky tournament and they weren't as good as I thought they were, but I was actually so much better than I realized that I was. I thought I was pretty average, just did the little things well, but I was actually a lot better and I should have believed in myself more, but I didn't. And yes, that affects my career now, but at the same time, I have to be very thankful for that because it made me who I am today. And if I believed in myself that early, I mightn't be the same person I am now. Better, worse, I don't know, but I'm not losing sleep over that.
There is something to the over a long time becoming better and better and then getting your dues towards the end of it. Because you see it in everything. You see it in even if actors or people who become famous, the ones who become famous immediately when they're super young end up being the ones with the most mental issues, the most
It's like those
difficulties
kid actors. those
Yeah, the child
actors.
they end up suffering because before they've even lived life and have any experience in what they're doing,
Or maybe they haven't paid their dues.
they're the shit. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's got to be a mental fuck with your head because you're like, these people love me and I haven't done that much. When you do it over a long period of time or slow growth, you develop as a person, you get all this new advice that's coming as you go, and you're able to deal with the success when you get it. And it's like, I feel like as a person, you become healthier if you get to success later on after you've, at least to yourself even, felt like you've earned it. There's like so much more value, and I feel like after your career, it just serves so much benefit to it.
You don't realize what you really have, the potential to really have. Like, you don't realize what's in your hands until you look back and you go, I was holding like a golden ticket and I didn't realize, like I was colorblind. It's like anything we do now, you don't realize how lucky you are to be in that position until the shit hits the fan or something, a life occurrence happens and all of a sudden you're not that person, or you're not as good as you thought you were, or you weren't as successful, or you lose that passion or that drive. And you got to go, holy shit, I got to really start to appreciate this now. And if you have that super early on, you don't know what it's like not to have it. You've just had it the whole time. And some people have had it and will always have it. But those that don't, I do find that they can lose sight of that goal because it is hard. If you don't get it, if you don't get a professional deal or are in the league or as a rostered player or whatever else, there's not many people that continue to stick it out and to say, you know what, I'm still going to get there. I'm 24 years old. I haven't made it. I'm going to make it. There's not many guys that do that in the NBA, in the NBL, anywhere. So those that do that and do get it, and some do deserve it but don't ever get it, it's so much more beautiful. Like it's a very beautiful moment to be there for someone that gets that contract. And I've been there on a few occasions. Kyle Adam on our team is one of them. Was a training player, a development player, you know, too short, too small, criticized his whole career, comes in. He's probably the sixth man of the year nearly every year, I think, the last couple of years. And he's a pivotal part of our club's success. But at the same time, it means so much more to him because he's been through this shit pile of hate and negativity towards him in his career for so long that he enjoys what he has. So he works just as hard as everyone, not because he needs to, because he also feels like, I love it, I deserve it, but I'm also going to continue to prove other people wrong. And I know people do it for that reason sometimes. I know he doesn't, but I know in the back of my mind, just as in the back of his, it's just like,
chip on that shoulder.
Fuck everyone else. Like, I worked hard. My family was there for me. You know, that's what's important. And you have to continue to remind yourself of that because at the end of the day, no one else is going to pay your bills for you. That's what it comes down to is, you know, the people that say shit, if you listen to someone's feedback, and this is one thing I love people to hear is why people go, how do you block out the negativity and hate and all that shit? And I say, does that motherfucker pay my bills? Is that the person that puts a roof over my head when I can't afford it? I've had times this last year where I haven't been able to afford bills or rent because of stuff that I've had to go through this past 12 months. But I have to turn on my family. I have to turn on my loved ones that I know are there for me no matter what. And that's who I listen to. So when that Facebook group I have with all my family that I can FaceTime and message video everyone at once, and there's 20 people in it. I know if I asked any of them or I was like, hey, I'm really going through it. I need some help. I need to talk. I need this. I need help. Now I'm there, done. That's who I listen to. So when they say, hey, pull your head in. Hey, I think this is actually doing worse for you than, okay, I'm going to listen to that. That's important. You're important. But everyone else, fuck off. Like,
they don't pay the bills.
Honestly, they don't pay your bills. They don't put food on your table. They might say, hey, I'm here if you need to talk. But at the same time, that's that same person that talks behind your back. So if they don't directly affect your life in your circle of trust, don't worry about it. Ignore it. Block it. I don't care. Anyone that writes bullshit on my stuff now, I just block them. fucking piss off. I don't care. I don't care if you never see my shit. I don't give I don't give two hoots. But so many people do, and they're like, oh, this person at school's bullying me and whatever else. Cool, block them. He had him in another account, block it. He had him on Snapchat, block it. They will get sick and tired of chasing that negative attention towards you. Someone else is more fun now because they're responding, and they'll go that direction.
Mm.
You know, that just avoid it as much as possible because they don't really matter.
Yeah, 100%. Even like sometimes as well, it's just for attention. Like some of the comments, just like looking at other people's, and then whoever they're hating on might respond is like, oh, like they've just made their day for like getting that piece of attention.
Yeah.
It's just a shitty dynamic where the best way to get attention is by shitting on someone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But as a leader,
and then telling people about it as well. They tell people about it, like, oh, I got a response from Mitch or whoever it is, and you're like, Israel Adesanya put up a thing today about clout chasing. He's like, you comment something and you say, hey man, I'm a massive fan. You're an absolute legend. You inspired me to be great. And you go, hey, no worries, mate. Keep up the great work. And then it's everywhere. Oh, you did that. And it's like, man, just like let us have this moment right now because that's special. And that means more to me as a professional athlete than anything. If I can share a moment with a kid or a family or someone in this world and I can help them or I can inspire them, fuck, that's all you can ask for. And it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a teammate. It could be a random kid or a family member that's struggling. Or, hey, my sister's a big fan. It's her birthday next week. She's struggling. Can I get a message? I'll get on there in front of it and be like, Shazza, happy birthday, you legend, in a video. Send it to them and they're crying. And you're like, if that's the reaction you can get from someone, that's a beautiful moment. Now, I may never think of that ever again, but they're going to think of that. And that's going to help them get through. So we don't realize the power we have until we utilize it. We really open our eyes and say, holy shit, we can affect change at a high level. And we just have to be aware of it.
100%. That's very well said. As a leader or someone that people may come to for advice, is there anything that you give out as to like a 12-year-old fan who's playing basketball every Saturday or whatever?
I would say that if you really love something, put time and effort into it, whatever it is. Write down your top 3 favorite things to do. Could be learning, it could be school, it could be basketball, it could be netball, whatever. And write it somewhere and just put it near your door, on your door, next to your bed, whatever it is. And every day, put time aside to work on those 3 things and to enjoy those 3 things. You know, if it's basketball, train for an hour. If it's reading, go and read for an hour. If it's investing or banking, who knows? Like, go and learn about it. Go and ask someone, speak to someone. Be curious about learning. The more curious we are, the more we actually learn, the more we know and understand, the more we can put into practice and apply, and then we can learn from that. It works, it doesn't work. Tweak it, refine it, go and do it again. So if you're young and you're curious about something or you like something, go and do it. Don't let anyone tell you. As I said, if it's not your best friends or your family, ignore it. You do what you want to do because that's important, because that'll make you happy. Don't listen to other people or get advice. Hey, you should be doing football instead of basketball. Well, I like basketball. I don't like football. Oh, but no, I do this. And you go, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just do that. And then you don't do it. And 2 years later, you drop out. And then all of a sudden you're back doing something you didn't want to do in the first place. If you like it and you love it and you want to do it and you're curious about it, do it, learn it, have fun with it. And you're going to continue to do it for a long time, whether you become a professional or not. You know, I don't know what the statistics are, but it's probably like 0.05% become professionals and can live off their income. That's a very, very slim number, but you can enjoy that. You can enjoy that throughout your career. Now that might be completely off, but I reckon it's probably pretty close. You know, like that's, you know, you can enjoy playing on a Wednesday and a Friday night with your best mates with a cool jersey that you've all designed, and you have a beer afterwards as you get older. That's fun. That's enjoyment. That gives you distractions and fulfillment in your life when you need that extra time and effort aside from your job. They're the things that we want to try and be passionate about. I have those passions and hobbies, as I spoke about earlier, and I've found them. And when I continue to find others, I'll continue to learn those things.
Yeah.
That's awesome advice, because it's like that curiosity. And if you don't have those things you love, keep trying different things until you find that something will click. Don't be afraid, because I'll cop it all the time. Like I cop criticism because I'll jump in on something because I'll like jump in on something and have a phase of it for like 4 months. And I cop it, but I'll keep doing that until something sticks, and then I enjoy it.
The shortest-lived hobbies ever.
I have so many short-lived hobbies, but I like doing that because I'm like, something will click. Eventually I'll find the one that I love and I'll keep doing. This is one of the ones where it's like, I like this one keeps going. This podcast, let's go. But like I've jumped on golf, jumped on so many different things. It's just like, dive in.
Yeah.
Also
awesome,
dive in and try. Yeah.
It's cool. I did badminton for an off season because there was a girl on Facebook in Adelaide was like, hey, I'm looking for a doubles partner. I'd met her out for drinks with like a group of different friends and whatever else. And we all connected and ended up, I was like, hey, you looking for a doubles partner? Like, what are we playing? And she's like, badminton. And I was like, she goes, you play badminton? I was like, nope, but I'm pretty long. So I was like, if you need to fill in, I'll fill in. She goes, yeah, fill in for like 2 weeks. So I played 2 weeks and I was like, I want to play. I was like, what racket do I get? What do I need? Get me everything. And I played 2 years worth of badminton in the off season and during season. I was playing Friday and Saturdays on weekends. And on Wednesday evenings, I was playing badminton at the local RSL. And I had a blast. It was the best thing ever. I wish I could. I actually want to try and do it again because I actually really enjoy it. But it's crazy. I was like, yeah, shit, I'll try just for some fun in the off season. And then 2 weeks in, I was like, we need to start training. We need to eat more.
We need to read
Tuesdays. Let's go. So yeah, it is funny how it happens.
Short-term obsessions are great fun.
And then a few will linger.
And you'll go back and you'll have something you enjoy for the rest of your life. So, which is
exactly.
Good.
Yeah. What's the next couple of years got in store? What are you looking?
The number one dream is to get back to America. Had a chance last year, but the NBL season ran over. Obviously, some other things kind of halted that temporarily. But then once the season ran longer, it was a whitewash. Like it was no chance of going there. Especially like going to finals year 2. There's no way I could have left. Like I couldn't have done that. This year, it's all about trying to get back there, healthy, fit, happy, go over there and play, enjoy my time, and then just see what happens. If I make it, great. If I don't, I don't. But then, it'll be either going and playing over in Europe somewhere. That'll be the next goal. I've had chances to do that, but I went to America, spent my time, came back for World Cup, and then all of a sudden it was like, do I go to America? Do I go back to Europe in the interim, or do I go play in Australia and then go back to America? I chose to play in Australia because then I get a window to go back and get 10 days and hopefully get signed again. And then at the second last game of the season after my first year, someone landed on my knee. I had surgery and I was out for about 4 months. I had 2 offers to play over there and 2 full contracts to finish. So I missed out, unfortunately. And then the second year, COVID and everything else. So I know I'm good enough. I believe in myself. I'm in a really good headspace right now and I'm playing and feeling really fit and strong. So I'll carry that over this year. And then that'll help build, other things I want to do on the side. We're trying to build a business in the background. And then I'm also starting a foundation, which is like a second chance program for the homeless. So that'll be in 3 different stages, which will be really exciting. That hopefully over the next few months, once COVID restrictions ease up here, we can actually go out and do some face-to-face stuff and transform some lives and get them opportunities. So they're kind of the things for me. I've got plenty of years to play still and I'm feeling as good as ever. So, that's my big goal. But in the meantime, mate, it's just staying happy and healthy and helping my friends and loved ones have opportunities to share experiences with me and for me to share in some of their amazing experiences as well. So, bit on the plate, but all good things.
What the helping the homeless? Where did that come from? What inspired this?
There's so many things in this world that we oversee and we overlook and we throw stereotypes on. I've been stereotyped a lot this last 12 months, and it's definitely something that's affected me greatly and put me in a pretty bad headspace for quite a long period of time. I've been stereotyped my whole career in certain different aspects. Being a professional athlete. Hobbies, stuff like that, so then I look at it and I go, well, what's something that I can really do to help people that hasn't really been done properly, that is also going to make a big change, not just for that person or those people I can help, but also the community and those around. And you look around and what's the first thing people normally see when they see a homeless person on the street? They go, oh, I don't want to go near them. They're probably drinking or on drugs or whatever else. I don't see that at all. I see someone that had an opportunity, And we're only I think in life, we're only 2 or 3 bad decisions away from being homeless. And then when you actually understand what is homelessness, it's not having a physical address to lay your head. When you lose a physical address in Australia, you actually lose all rights to have any help from the government, rent assistance or Centrelink. So if you don't have a physical address, your wife leaves you, you don't have your kids, you get in a bit of a depressive state, you're bouncing around houses, you don't have a thing. All of a sudden, you don't get any help to get back on your feet, you're stuck. Wow. Then you get into some of those negative traits that can keep you in that downward spiral. So I've actually spent a lot of time talking to, people I meet on the streets. And the other day I spent and came back, cooked dinner and took a few meals to a guy that was sitting out front of the Woolworths, stopped and sat and talked to him on the side for half an hour, told me all about his story. And he goes, I've been homeless for 30 years now. And he goes, I can't get any help. And he goes, I've tried. I got a guy who in the city who helps me out. But he goes, it cost me $6.50 to get from here to the city to where I need to. So he goes, if I don't raise $6.50, I don't have a roof over my head. So I have to go and stay in old abandoned apartments. And you think, we walk past people like this every single day and we just think the worst. So
100%.
So how can we really help clean them up? I've been doing barbering and stuff this last COVID period for the last year and a bit. I cut all the teammates' hair and coaches and staff. So, I've got all the right stuff. I'm learning to do women's hair as well. So I can cut their hair, do their beards, clean their nails, do everything they need, put them back on, feeling fresh, looking good, sanitary packs, help with resume writing, give them laminated copies they can take into places, align with a job placement company to get them some work, give them a physical address through the foundation so they can now get rental assistance and government help. We can help facilitate all that. So that's what I want to do. That's the first phase of it. Second and third is about getting them proper accommodations, grants, stuff like that for the business as well, to get properties to subsidize rent. So many layers to it, but the first phase is the most important in making them feel special again and giving them a chance to get some work and to get back on their feet. We may not get a good turnover. We may get 20%, 10%, 5% of all that come in back on their feet. But if 100 come in at 5%, 5 people are now off the street. Now you imagine if you had 100 centers or 100 different people heading that kind of operation, you got 500 people every, say, 3 months off the street. That's a huge number. That gives people, that gives back. That's a huge change, and they're beautiful people. So I want to try and help as much as possible, and I've got a bit of a platform to try and do that. So once we get things on rolling, that'll be one that I really want to head up.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. We'll head into overtime now. We've just got a couple of questions. We've got Nay11 has asked, off-season weight room regime, balance of being big versus staying loose.
Great question. As I said before, I've got Danny Kennedy who's doing all my programming at the moment. It's all through Team Builder app where I can track all my weights, history of weights, everything. We have a good mix of we have a discussion, obviously, about what I want out of my programming. Good size, strength, explosiveness, plenty of stability work and stuff as well to try and keep myself nice and mobile. But in saying that, if you just lift weights and I'm not on court a lot, then I'm not going to get a good transfer of that, or I'm going to lose my touch. So plenty of on-court work every day. Normally when the season is kicking off and we're in pre-season, which we start in about 2 weeks. Right now we're doing 3 days a week, 3 in the gym, 3 heavy ass sessions. Mondays, lower body, Wednesdays, upper body, core on both days, and then Fridays a mix of upper and lower. As I said, it's all about lifting weight and moving it and getting better, great technique and form. But then after training, I box pretty much every time. I've been doing boxing with one of the guys on our team as well, training him and teaching him. It's his first time learning. So I do that because if you've ever boxed before, one, it's great conditioning and cardio, very low impact on your legs, which for me, we're doing a lot of running. And then you've got to be nice and loose. If you're really stiff and rigid, you're actually going to be more susceptible to injuries and hurting yourself. So got to be nice and loose, flow, rhythm, balance, everything kind of comes into it. We do it to music. We do it to old school jazz, hip hop. We do rock, everything, because the beat and everything, it changes the tempo. So that's kind of how I stay, I guess, nice and loose, but also very disciplined with my on-court, my gym, my cardio. And then as the season ramps up, we do a lot of on-court sprint work and running. But in saying that, off the court, all my hobbies are pretty stressful. Like I ride motorbikes and dirt bikes and things like that, which take a lot of time and effort, and they just take a fair bit of energy. So they're also good cardio and conditioning, and it's different. Like I enjoy that. I go for walks and work out as well. So many things. I just try and implement it into my lifestyle every day, and that keeps me kind of fresh, healthy, but mentally very clear of what my goal is for basketball.
Awesome. And CamSmith.91, what's one thing you say / think to yourself when life gets hard? What's your motivational go-to quote?
One that I love is, the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dreams with open eyes to make them possible. And when you think about it, it's not about laying your head down at night and, falling asleep and having a dream and then saying, oh, that was pretty cool, whatever else. It's literally about waking up every day with the vision in your head of what you want to be, where you want to go, what you want to do, the things that you want to achieve in your life, and saying, that's what I'm going after today. And everything you do to, get through your day should be helping you get that a little bit further forward, and the next day a little bit further forward. And you just keep chipping away. And all of a sudden, as we talked about before, consistency is key, reminding yourself of that. And then in time, you're going to give yourself a chance. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it gives you a chance. And that's the most important thing. So opportunity and chances come few and far between, but when you get them, you've got to really, take a hold of them and do everything you can to kind of continue to, push that barrier even further, because you get a chance and that opens another door to another room, which has got another set of chances. And then all of a sudden that dream you had, what you're thinking about every single day now has to change into something else. So continuing to change your path, but then along the way, the visions change, the dreams change. So yeah, that one's a great one for me.
Wow, that's awesome. It's been awesome chatting to you today, Mitch. Drop your socials. Where can people find you?
Mitchell Creek 55. Instagram's probably the only one I really use. I don't really have anything else. Facebook is there so people can stay in my family chat. That's about it. But look, if anyone's got any questions ever or wants to reach out, I'm always open to talking and being there for people if they need anything, especially through a difficult time we're all going through. But as I said, thanks again, boys. You guys have been fantastic. Love what you're doing. All the talks and the content you guys throw up. It's a good little laugh as well. So keep up the good work.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Awesome. Thanks, boys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.